Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We have probably one of the closest and craziest games that I've played in a long time, and it comes down to the wire, and we're in a situation at the very end where it doesn't feel like there's no chance of getting out of it, but we are in the Mino. This is a this is a gameplay I had like 2 weeks ago, so I haven't really been able to play too much aside from the streams the past like week or so, but that's fine. Anyways, rocking the standard fully packed Mino build. It's really consistent, and I just like running it for the most part. But hope you guys are doing well, and yeah, ready for some warmer weather as we look outside, and it's kind of chilly here. It's been super windy in Georgia, and it's been just super annoying. But anyways, going towards the C flag, kind of, I don't really know where to go when I spawn B, especially in cruisers that are generally very lightly armored and don't have a lot of firing range. I always hate rushing B. I don't think that's a good idea. At least early, like your first play, because it just offers yourself up to a lot of crossfire opportunities. And the only reason why I take the shot at the Fletcher there is because, one, we get some pretty good chip damage, which will come in very helpful later on. That 3,200 damage is going to be a lifesaver when we get to finally engage the Fletcher at the end of the game as well. But there's really no rush here. There's just Minos shooting at us, and for the most part, if a Minotaur is shooting at you and you're actively evading and it's past like 11 kilometers, there's really nothing to worry about. I see that far too often. You see a bunch of Minos, like they smoke up and they start shooting at like 15 kilometers. They start shooting at, targets that aren't, optimal. And it's essentially just giving their position away. The only reason why I'm shooting here is because I figured I could squeeze off a couple salvos undetected, which I'm going to be able to do here. Get some nice, basically free damage on this guy. And yeah, we're basically going to, the name of the game of this game especially is definitely going to be the concealment, and it's going to save our lives at the very end. 9.9 kilometer detection. Get a flat broadside Mino coming out here. Unfortunately, only get to have one salvo, but we're in a pretty decent spot. Torpedoes look pretty good. Have a triple citadel on the first citadel there. We're getting, or on the first salvo, that we're getting some pretty good damage against the Mino, and we haven't taken hardly any in return. So anytime you can have those opportunities to do significant damage to someone and take 0 in return, that's a huge net profit in your favor there. Again, Mino's at 11 kilometers. It's honestly not worth me shooting here, because as soon as I start shooting, he's probably going to start angling, and I give up my position to the enemy, and I do see that I'm located. So I kind of want to just play a little chill. I want to push up a little bit towards B, kind of like on the opposite side of where the Stalingrad is, but I didn't really want to make a move until I knew where he was, for the most part, just because Stalingrad is very scary. Have a set of 5 torps coming at us, that's either the Fletcher or the Shima, and we're kind of just playing it chill, using our concealment. We have C. There's no huge rush here. The game just started. Don't need to make any big plays here, and we do have the Hydra, and we do spot the Shima. So holding our spot here, being patient, we get the catch the Shima in detection, and this guy is pretty much dead. You see 2 salvos. He's pretty much gone. About 7.5 seconds there. Shima's just back in port, just waiting. We do have to worry about the Mino, but for the most part, I'm angling towards the big targets because, yeah, a lot of those ships can overmatch me, but they have to hit you. And if you're presenting a small enough target, the battleships, especially the Montana, like, yeah, he can easily overmatch me and do a ton of damage, but I'd rather be bow in, giving him a teeny tiny target at my bow than just giving him flat broadside. And I'm going for the Shima smoke. It's a pretty risky play, but it's a free smoke screen, and it would have given me a really good chance to farm that Montana. Unfortunately, we have no spawning, but that is a huge oof, because we could have done some insane damage to that guy. We still have all 3 of our smoke screens too, and we're pressed up against this island to where the Stalingrad and the Jean Bart can't really take advantage of us. And that's really the strength of having torpedoes like this as well. A lot of ships have this ability. You know, you think of ships at lower tiers like Nuremberg, you know, even Königsberg, even Omaha. You know, when you're a very lightly armored cruiser that is very easily one shot, but you have a ton of torpedoes, which is a natural deterrent to a lot of battleships because they know that you can dev strike them back, and a lot of people aren't willing to take that gamble, even if they don't know that they don't even have to know that you don't have your torpedoes reloaded yet, but just the threat of them there, a lot of people don't want to risk their game to do that. So we do spot Stalingrad at 4.9 kilometers, which is a little scary. If he was facing another way, that would have been bad, but we were in a pretty decent spot to get behind this island as quick as possible. I really wasn't expecting that. It kind of really caught us off guard there. If his guns were pointed towards us, that would have been a large oof. But we get lucky from his positioning. This was a tough game. You know, there's really not much we can do here because we really can't push the Jean Bart. I assume we could totally push around here and try to torp him from the back, but since he has the RGA mod, he's going to spot us through the islands from 2.8 kilometers. So it will be very, very hard to sneak around the island, and I kind of just want to hold my position as long as possible. There's a lot to there's a lot of value from being able to hold a spot, and it can be really difficult because sometimes you need to make the decision whether you want to hold a position or you need to leave, and sometimes you know, the difference between like living and dying in a spot is decision making within a split second. You know, we're okay now. There's no one that can come across over B that can spot us, and there's no one, even if we were spotted, that could take advantage of us. I'm watching the Stalingrad's guns. We know where the Jean Bart is. The only thing we're missing here is the battleship, which was that Montana, but you see he's right there, and not really much he can do from us there. If he would shoot at us, we could just pull forward. I'm actually going to back up. I see the Montana's guns are turned. As long as you know that a battleship's guns, like, if Montana here was the only thing that could shoot at me, obviously the Stalingrad's there, but I know that even though I'm spotted, I'm safe here, and I can play as risky slash, I guess, tooth and nail as I want to be, because I know the Montana is a battleship that can dev strike me, but not if his guns aren't turned toward me. But I'm keeping an eye every salvo on like what's going on. And it was at this point in time where, well, we do pick up the Confederate as well. I forgot we got a dev strike on the sheep. So, but yeah, we're just kind of inch forward here, get as many salvos as possible, undetected here, chewing away at the Montana. His guns are still turned, so we really want to kill this guy. We don't want to smoke up. I don't really need to use a smoke screen here. We just, you know, we're going to take advantage of the DPM that we have, and he should be dead fairly quickly. And he does go down. We unfortunately leave the team. We lose the team up top, which is really not great. And I'm watching the Fletcher here. I don't want to shoot because I don't know what could spot me. I probably should be shooting the Fletcher at this point in time. But I was also kind of confused as to why the Shimakaze was also spotted from that far out. So that's kind of just one of those plays where, you know, your teammates are going to do things that don't really make sense. And you either take a risk supporting them or you don't. So I choose to go silent until the Fletcher starts opening up on me, which is really nice. And this is where the initial salvo 3K is going to come in handy, because he's on like no health right now, and he's still continuing to shoot. He did fire his last shot there, and he's just trying to get away. And we are going to be able to pull off a really important shot here. As he goes dark, we actually pick up the kill. If we did not hit him for 3K at the beginning of the game, he would have got away, and that would have been an absolute pain to deal with. I see the Jean Bart is coming around on the other side of the B island, so I take a risk to try to get my torpedoes away, because what I'm realizing right now is we don't have any angles against these guys, and when everyone is angled towards you, Mino really suffers and they can't do much. So my best bet right now is our torpedoes. We have to get some work done with torpedoes to at least level out some of these targets, because if it's just me left, I cannot take care of a Bowen Jean Bart that has 55,000 HP. And you can see the concealment coming in. Actually, standard concealment for the Mino with a camo and concealment mod is 10.6. So we would have been spotted there, but we do run Macabre, which gives us 9.9. Concealment is just beautiful on this ship. I think 9.9 works perfectly. 10.6 works well as well. But you can see I'm just like I'm looking at this game here, and we're just kind of throwing away as many chances as we get. Yamato just comes out with flat broadside against the Jean Bart, Montana, Stalingrad. You know, I look over once and his health is just gone. I'm just like, man, that really sucks. We don't get lucky with this first two sets of torpedoes, and it's not looking really good. Both teams have thrown away some pretty precious ships. As you saw, there was that enemy Mino at A that pretty much popped out with no HP, and our teammates were luckily able to take care of him. Yamato gets a really important last salvo against the Jean Bart there. It takes about 10, 12k, I would say. That's going to come in really, really handy because we can't just bow into these guys and just brute force our way through these guys. It's just not possible. You know, we don't have the angles. They'd have to get broadside. And eventually, when the Mino goes down, this is a spot where the Minotaur is at its weakest, is when it has to spot for itself and when it also has everyone trying to come towards it. And pay attention to the scores here. It's 400 to 912, and they have two caps. We only have one, and it's 4 versus 1. This is where it gets really nitty gritty. And before I realized what was going on, as you can see the concealment working in our favor again, they almost went on points at least twice. I think it's twice, because with the points ticking and with my inability to be able to actually kill somebody in this position, it gets a little rough. And honestly, I'm glad I didn't see the points, because if I would have noticed the points at this point in time, I probably would have tried to make an aggressive play, and it kind of just worked out for us. We are located. I don't know if that's the Stalingrad or if it's the Shimakaze. Jean Bart is playing it slow and hugging the island, which is really smart. But when you have 16 torpedoes in the water, you're bound to hit somebody, and we get two. I assume it's on the first ones were on the Montana, and we actually probably hit 2 on the Stalingrad. So we kill the radar, which is fantastic. We have our Hydra running 4.9 kilometer ship detection on the Hydra. We get to pull out and take advantage of the Shimakaze right here, which is super nice. So now, from a 1v4, it is a 1v2, but we're still in some big trouble here. We saw the Jean Bart coming around, and we don't really know where the Montana is. So this is going to get a little close. We have to make sure that we aren't going to get rushed by the Jean Bart, because he is very fast coming around the corner. He is going to surface spot us from his RGA mod, which is scary as well. And we also have to accelerate and not beach. I was really worried that I was going to beach here. We're going to brake full hard because we don't know if the Montana is coming across on the other side. Montana definitely should have cut this way. You know, when you get 2 people following one target the same way, it's very easy to at least keep them in check, or, you know, for the most part, know where they're coming from. I think the Jean Bart is starting to get really anxious here, and he puts on the gas a little bit too much and accelerates a little bit too much, so we're able to get our torpedoes away, and we end up hitting 1 and 2. So the Jean Bart is dead, and this is where it gets a little terrifying. We still have our smoke screen. Montana comes from the side. You know, we freak out in this moment, and I didn't want to shoot because he's in my smoke firing penalty. So if I do try to shoot here, if I try to blind fire to get some damage, he will spot us and he will depth strike us. I guarantee you that. But we have our torpedoes away, and we end up hitting 2 and get the kill for the 7th kill. I'm freaking out. We have a solo warrior, and it was just, I don't know. The game did not seem winnable, but we ended up making it happen. 8 torpedo hits, over 4,000 base XP, and 7 kills. Guys, let me know what you think about the video. Happy that I could get this one out, because it's been in my inventory for since when before the start of February. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.